Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So there are two new reports that have come out in the past weekend. I think they both came out this weekend. Both have completely humiliated Trump, and they confirm the previous leak that Donald Trump's attack on Iran just didn't really do much damage to their nuclear sites. I mean, it caused damage, at least according to one, but not what they're saying. Did not obliterate their nuclear program. As you all know, though, that's what Donald Trump is claiming. He is saying, oh, complete and total victory, completely and totally obliterated their production. So we can expect more tantrums from Donald Trump and his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, in this next week, I would assume. Before I get into the details of this latest leak, though, please do me a big favor. Hit the subscribe button below this video. It really, really helps the show. It is free for you. Greatly appreciate it. So here's what's new with the Iran conflict. The Washington Post spoke with several, I was going to say an anonymous source, but they spoke with several anonymous government sources. And these sources said that there was a private Iranian communication with top officials, and this was intercepted by the US, and it made it clear that the Iranians' nuclear program suffered little damage. So the Post reported, quote, the communication intended to be private included Iranian government officials speculating as to why the strikes directed by President Donald Trump were not as destructive and extensive as they had anticipated. Now, of course, Donald Trump's press secretary, Kim Jong-Levitt, she is denying that this report is legitimate. She said, quote, it's shameful that the Washington Post is helping people commit felonies by publishing out of context leaks. The notion that unnamed Iranian officials know what happened under hundreds of feet of rubble is nonsense. Their nuclear weapons program is over. I'm going to explain to you in just a second why this is so bogus, why her explanation is just complete and utter bullshit. So, and notice, they're not even denying that this intercepted communication exists. They're just saying, oh, well, it's taken out of context. But the other bit of news that broke this past weekend confirms this. So this was reported by the Washington Post. So, according to the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Trump's claims of total obliteration are grossly exaggerated. And this International Atomic Energy Agency, that is the United Nations nuclear watchdog group. So they go and they inspect nuclear facilities all over the world. And the Director General is a man named Rafael Grossi. And he was just interviewed by CBS, and he said, quote, the capacities they have are there. They can have, in a matter of months, I would say, a few cascades of centrifuges, my God, centrifuges spinning and producing enriched uranium, or less than that. But as I said, frankly speaking, one cannot make the claim that everything has disappeared and there is nothing there. It is clear that there has been severe damage, but it's not total damage. Grossi also confirmed that the Iranian, or that the organization that he works for, that they had previously located traces of uranium in Iran outside of the 3 facilities that were bombed by Trump. And he said, quote, we were asking for years, why did we find these traces of enriched uranium in place X, Y, or Z? And we were simply not getting credible answers. So he's confirming what the Iranians had said, that they have uranium outside of the 3 facilities that were bombed. So obviously, not over, not done with. And now Grassi did confirm what Tulsi Gabbard had said before Trump iced her out, or, kicked her out basically. And then she backpedaled, tried to cover for him. So Grassi said previous inspections did not show that Iran was close to completing a nuclear weapon. Although he qualified that statement, he said, quote, "We didn't see a program that was aiming in that direction of nuclear weapons, but at the same time, they were not answering very, very important questions that were pending." So, in other words, they had uranium, they were enriching it. We asked questions, we didn't get answers, but we don't think that they were close to creating a nuclear weapon. Um, but still, them not answering questions is very suspicious, and they do have uranium at other locations. We don't know why, couldn't get answers. So I want to go back to what Caroline Leavitt said. And yes, I call her Leavitt, not Levitt, because the idea that Iranians don't know and couldn't assess the damage from the US bombs is just not credible. We know how the Iranians are, right? Are we to believe that the Iranian government wouldn't have cameras covering every square inch of that facility inside of those nuclear facilities? We know how they keep a short leash on their citizens, and they're very well aware that other countries are trying to flip some of their people so that we can spy on them, so that we do know what's going on inside of the country and inside of those nuclear facilities. So they're absolutely watching, or were watching, all of those scientists, all of those employees like a hawk. They want to know, are these people taking pictures? Are they writing stuff down? Like, can we trust them? Unless every single camera inside of those facilities was knocked out by those blasts, then they know damn well what kind of damage was done. They know how extensive it is or isn't. And this reporting, as you guys probably know, this comes after reports that Iran had moved their uranium prior to the attack because they knew that it was probably coming. And then also, there was a classified briefing last week. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, he was in on this classified briefing, and then he came out and told reporters, quote, "I walk away from that briefing still under the belief that we have not obliterated the program. The president was deliberately misleading the public when he said the program was obliterated. It is certain that there is still significant capability, significant equipment that remain. You cannot bomb knowledge out of existence, no matter how many scientists you kill. There are still people in Iran who know how to work centrifuges. And if they still have enriched uranium and they still have the ability to use centrifuges, then you're not setting back the program by years, you're setting back the program by months." So it's pretty sad that we can, as Americans, can trust the Iranian government to tell the truth more than our own president, more than Donald Trump and his minions. And here's the thing everyone has to realize. Everyone involved has an agenda, right? So it's so hard to know who to trust. I mean, Trump absolutely needs this win. He hasn't stopped the Ukraine-Russia war like he said he would do on day one. We're now 6 months into his presidency, almost. He hasn't stopped what's going on in Gaza, as so many Muslims trusted him to do. They're literally gunning people down at aid stations on purpose. We now have proof of that from Haaretz, which is an Israeli news outlet. They now have IDF soldiers who admitted that, yes, this is policy. We are purposely shooting at these people who are starving to death and just trying to get food for them and their children. He hasn't done any of that. He hasn't fixed any of this that's going on in the world. And so now he has seen the backlash from MAGA of people turning on him and saying, I didn't vote for war. I shared with you guys that video of people cursing him out, his own supporters, flipping out and telling him to go fuck himself, calling him every name in the book because they're pissed off about this. So he needs this to be a one and done, right? He needs to convince his base, oh, I destroyed the Iranian nuclear facilities, all done. We're good. Mission accomplished. We're all over it. Right? And then the war hawks in his administration, of which there are many, they have a vested interest in leaking this information. They are trying to force Trump to take further action. They want a regime change war. So they have every incentive to leak this and say, oh, look, nope, you didn't do it. Didn't get rid of it. Still a threat. We got to do something. We got to take further action. As for the Iranians, they also have mixed emotions, I'm sure, and, have a reason to want to admit that they still have capability and then not. This is a double-edged sword for them. If they lie, if they say, oh, yeah, our nuclear program has been destroyed, whether it's a lie or not, I mean, Trump might back off, might leave them alone, and then they can quickly go, if it's a lie, they can quickly go and develop nuclear weapons in secret. Now they have more of an incentive to do that quickly. Or Trump, Bibi Netanyahu, other world leaders, they could take that as an opportunity. They could take this as a sign of weakness and an opportunity to move in for the kill. And then, try to overthrow the government and change out the regime. On the other hand, if they say, we still have the ability to develop nukes, which is what they're pretty much doing, then the world's on high alert still. Right? Now they're maybe in the future fearful of attacking them, but in the meantime, they still have a target on their back. They're sitting ducks with Israel. Israel will no doubt continue to attack them and push their American puppets to do the same. So this leads me to believe that the intercepted call was legitimate. Right? It doesn't seem to be in the Iranians' best interest to admit that their nuclear facilities are still intact. If I were them, I would probably keep it under wraps and go develop nukes immediately. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, they have reason to admit it and then not admit it. So we don't know. We're in a no-win situation here in the U.S., not knowing who to trust, not knowing what to do next. But guaranteed Donald Trump will make the wrong decision. So anyway, that's where things stand as of now. Trump is humiliated, has proven to be ineffective in taking out the threat of Iran, if they were truly a threat, which based on intelligence and his own national intelligence director, I don't buy it. I don't think that they were close to having nukes. So it seems to be all done on behalf of Israel. As always, the United States of Israel. That's what we are now. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe if you have not. Please donate if you possibly can, or become a monthly donor. People who donate monthly really, truly helps to keep the show going. So greatly, greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. I will talk with you all soon. Love you all. Take care.